Hi y'all, Jeff here with Jeff's Cars. And yes, this video is about Mercedes-Benz once again. We're going to call this video number, I think this is 350 SL video progress number 10. But I'm not showing the 350 SL yet. Oh, wait a minute. There it is. And so folks, here we go. Progress video number 10 of the 350 SL. Now, the last video we talked about the, took it out for its drive, and then there was a little short video having my wife drive it with Jose, and she drove it and obviously loves it, but now we have the list of things to do on the 350 SL. One, and I'm gonna put my glasses down. I do wear glasses every now and then so I can see. But one thing that we need to do, since this car sat for a long time, and that is change the oil. Well, there's the oil filter. And so that's one thing that we'll do upcoming, but the other we have the list to start with, and that begins with. Now I need to get my glasses. I wrote this down, but it's not very neat. But after Jose went through and looked at the underneath side, we need upper and lower ball joints and control arm bushings, the body mount bushings. The front shocks are pretty bad. They're really leaking. Did find a leak underneath there, the high pressure power steering line, and finding that's going to be a little tough because I have not, haven't done my research on that yet. What we would know in America is the valve cover gaskets, but on this, it's actually cam cover gaskets because it's overhead. It's overhead cams. The front stabilizer bushings. Oh, and a windshield washer tank. Put some washer fluid in it, and it just poured out. Well, it sits. The one on this car actually. Sat on a mounting bracket right next to the coolant reservoir. Well, this was a small tank. It had melted. So there's been some heat there. And so that also leads us to believe you're going to need to do a thermostat, probably do a coolant flush, which I've already bought the coolant for it, the Mercedes spec, current Mercedes spec, because it is non-corrosive. And so we'll get to that at some point, but it seemed to be, the radiator seems to be a little hot, so, but the temperature gauge seems to be right on where it's supposed to be at 175 to 185 or 190 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, and in this dash, this was actually, it's actually in U.S. measurements, where all the rest of my, all the rest of the cars are shown in Celsius. So those are things that we're going to do, and I'll probably do some videos as we're working on some of these things. But one of the early videos I mentioned that there was something in the trunk that came with the car. And here it is. What we call, I guess it's what it's called, a day cover. And so it actually sits here and it goes over the cabin part of the car, and but allows you to drive the car or access the driver compartment of the car and drive the car with the day cover on it. Now, I thought this was pretty cool, but I have seen this when I was looking on Marketplace and found some other SLs in this vintage, and there were several covers. Now, we tried to figure out, Jose and my daughter, Yui and my daughter, tried to figure out how to put that on, and without having instructions, that's kind of how it fit together, but I think it wraps a little bit more underneath there. So, but I thought that was kind of neat. I had had it sitting on the railing up here for quite some time, but it is one thing, one way for us to keep some of the dust, out of the the cabin part of it, because we still got, cleaning to do, and we're probably going to start sanding on this car, do a few things at a time. Going to try and hopefully, the goal is to paint this car before Thanksgiving, but I doubt we're going to get there. But we're going to try, or at least get it prepped, ready to be painted, and we're going to make the decision whether we paint it or we take it to a shop and have them paint it, which is going to require taking things off. I also noticed that some of these cars had a chrome strip that was around here. This one does not. This is pretty much the base model, and with being production number 4, I think I mentioned it was 457, but I believe it's 417. I'd have to look again at the title. This is an early production year, or early production model of this, and so if you look at serial numbers on these cars, it was 107 00 4412 000 and then 00 and then the production number. This one's got 3 zeros and then 457, I believe, 457 or 4417. So really makes this a very early. It's a very early production. Now, is it a 72 or is it a 71? According to the title, it's a 72. So I'm not sure when this actually. I'd have to see if I can find the production plates and stuff like that. But more to come on that. And on the build plate on the the radiator bracket up there, that'll give us the exact paint code, which is this. So, folks, we appreciate have some new subscribers and appreciate you watching the videos. This car will keep along with the progress of it. After he got he got it tuned just right. This car actually got the idle down. It actually starts and runs. And I'm going to just reach in and start it. We've moved it into this garage because the 300 SL it needs a water pump in there, and so it's going to take a little longer, but in there at least I've got all the tools that I'm going to need. But I'm going to reach in, if I can, and start this just to see, after it's been sitting, 3 days now, 4 days, just to see how she starts and idles. Yui's done a great job. Replaced probably every vacuum line on it, and it made a world of difference in the braking. Still probably need to inspect the pad. I'm going to see if I can idle it down because it's in full start mode. Oh, now we're clerking. So we got to do a little bit more work, a little more fine tuning, and that's how these things go. I mean, this car's got 123,000. It's hard to see because the light in here is not that great. 129,900 miles on it. So, you know, we'll get it all tuned up just right before we really take it out on any major road trip. But I think this day cover is kind of cool, and it just clips right here on this chrome, and I'm going to zip it around, and that'll tighten it up a little bit. It might be, yeah, see, it's stretched. So, because we didn't have it snapped into here. So, we'll just zip it back up where it was, and that way it keeps some of the dust off, because, you know, where I live here, the alley is a gravel alley, and it's a path to the school, so there's constantly dust. So, folks, appreciate you watching. Click subscribe if you haven't. Share this with your friends. Put some comments down below. Tell me what you think. A couple of comments earlier is completely restored. That's what we're going to do. You know, I am going to have to watch the expenses on it, because I can't afford, a complete frame-off restoration or anything like that, but we're going to do what we can. Again, thanks for watching. Have a nice day.